All right, here we go. So, we got lots to talk about today. We're probably going to go for this first little bit. We'll do 15 minutes, then we'll go for break. After all, I'm sure you're still all exhausted from reviewing the test, right? Good stuff. So, as I said before, we've got all this shit to go through today, Charging connections, charger versus EDSE, levels, signals, operation, all this kind of stuff. Anybody in here own anything electrified yet? No? Yeah? What do you got? Hybrid?
Oh, hybrid, yeah, my dad's RAV4 is on hybrid.
Dad's RAV4 is hybrid. Okay, so there we go. Plug in or not plug in?
Not plug-in.
Not plug in. So we got three types of electrification. Let's make it simple, right? We got hybrid. And hybrid can be split into two categories. We can go mild and then full. We can further this out by breaking that full hybrid and mild hybrid into different terms that we've heard before. Okay, so what type of hybrid is a mild? It is a parallel. Okay? A parallel hybrid can only assist the car with an electric motor. The engine must be running because it is the primary means of propulsion. That parallel hybrid, weak. These are the low voltage systems. These are the systems manufacturers go, ooh, I'm gonna add this amped up alternator on my engine and call it a hybrid. 48 volt hybrid systems, 38 volt hybrid systems, all that kind of stuff, right? We go from parallel hybrids into full hybrids, and we can break that down two more ways. So we can go a little bit crazy here. We can get into a series hybrid. A series hybrid, the engine does not propel the wheels. Instead, only an electric motor propels the wheels. The only series hybrid that comes to the top of my mind right now that is sold in North America, or was sold in North America up until very recently, is the BMW i3 with range extending generator. That's a lot of words, right? So the BMW i3 with its range extending generator technically was a plug-in hybrid. However, overseas, you can get Nissans with what they call e-power. The car is driven by an electric motor, and the engine is only there to turn a generator. The most prevalent series hybrid is a diesel locomotive. You know trains? Trains are cool, right? Inside of diesel locomotive, the diesel engine does not drive the wheels. Instead, the diesel engine turns a generator which produces the electricity for an electric motor underneath the train that drives the wheels. It's more efficient. God, it's true. You can burn gas and use electricity and still be more efficient.
So series doesn't drive the wheels, right?
Series, the engine cannot drive the wheels.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Is that common in cars right now? No. No, I could only name a couple of examples, right? And one of them wasn't even a good example because it doesn't fall into the hybrid category. So the more prevalent one is series parallel. The series parallel is a strong hybrid, same as a series hybrid. In a series parallel hybrid, the electric motor can drive the wheels, the gas engine may drive the wheels, or the gas engine may also act like a generator, meaning that they don't all have to be on at the same time. It can go from a series hybrid to a parallel hybrid and back again. So it has the capabilities of both. Because it can drive on the electric motor alone, because it has that capability, we call it a full hybrid or a strong hybrid. What do all three of these hybrid types have in common? Why do they fall under the category of hybrid? Hybrid does not use an external power. Hybrids do not use an external power source. So that leaves us with a question. How does a high voltage battery charge? Doesn't use an external power source. Don't plug it into the wall. How do I charge the high voltage battery? No, the alternator was the first thing we ditched when we electrified vehicles. We got a DC to DC converter instead. How do I charge the high voltage battery in a hybrid, in a car that doesn't plug into the wall?
Regeneration.
Regeneration. Oh, I like that one. So, first, we'll do the simple one. Regen. There we go. So when I apply the brakes, instead of operating the actual brake pads, making contact with the rotor, I can use the electric motor to slow the vehicle down. And in doing so, I'm turning a rotor, which excites the stator, which creates electricity and charges the battery. Great. Is regeneration enough to recharge a battery? To keep it charged? It's enough?
No.
No, so you're confused now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, yeah, no. Right? Is regeneration enough? It can be, depending on the way that you're hybridizing the car. So something like the Corvette E-Ray, right? All the purists went, oh, Corvette, that's hybrid? Ooh! You know what hybridizing that car allowed us to do? Give that fast as mother car all-wheel drive, without a drive shaft, without a transfer case. The rear end of the car is all Corvette, it's traditional transmissions, it's alternators, it's all that stuff. So in that car, the way that I recharge the battery, when I'm driving down the road just in cruise, spinning that front motor, and it recharges the little battery enough. But is that good enough in a Prius? Right, that Corvette just uses that electric motor to straighten out when it's coming out of the corner, or to give it a little boost of traction when it's trying to leave in a drag race. Is that how we're going to use a Prius? Corvette's engine doesn't need to shut off, but is that how we're going to use a Prius? No, right? So what's the other way that I can charge the battery in a vehicle that doesn't plug into the wall?
With the generator?
With a generator. So a generator is powered by the internal combustion engine, right? The ice turns the generator, which creates power to charge the battery. So, regen, generator. And I'm going to put little brackety things here. Ice. You know what ice means? Internal combustion engine. Fun fact, there's external combustion engines too. Did you know that? External, yeah. Trains, old steam engines are external combustion, right? Because you burn the stuff on the outside. Oh, look at that. So internal combustion engines. Cool, hybrids, right? Neat. Do I need something to convert wall power into battery power on that car? Do I need to add anything weird to a hybrid in order to make it work? Not really. So how does it charge? What component does it use? So what component charges the battery in a pure hybrid vehicle? What component charges the battery? So we get AC from the drive motor, right? Whether it be a generator or in regen. What turns it from AC into DC and makes sure that it's good to go back in the battery?
Inverter.
Inverter. Yeah, no, nailed it, right? So this component, on a hybrid, we use the inverter to charge the battery. Power the generator, use regen braking, create AC voltage, goes through the inverter. Remember, there's all the diodes in the inverter. They look like alternator diodes because we're using it as a giant alternator. But because it's an AC motor and an inverter, we're going to call it the inverter and the AC motor. Rectify it, smooth it, boost it, or buck it, just depending on what we need, and jam it in. Sound good? Not bad, right? So, buck it in. Do we know what the word boost means? Pretty easy, right? If you get a boost, you go up. So if we're boosting voltage in something like this, we're making it go up. If we're bucking voltage, we make it go down. Buck, throw off. We're good with that? You good with that? Me too. Me too. All right, so we got that. We're okay with this? We have our next category of vehicle. Plug-in hybrid. What flavors are plug-in hybrids? What do you think? Are there mild plug-in hybrids? Plug it into the wall so we can never use the electric motor all by itself. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Why would you just run the engine and recharge the little tiny battery if that's what you're going to do? So plug-in hybrids, the batteries get bigger. Remember our little hybrid batteries we had on the bench? We could fit them under a seat. Now instead of under a seat, they got to take up the whole trunk. And we're changing chemistry. We're definitely not nickel metal hydride. We're going directly into lithium, so high energy density. We're going to use the motor in that car to drive it. So if it's plug-in hybrid, it is going to be a full hybrid. Which means, can it be series? Can I get a plug-in series hybrid? Yeah. Can it be series parallel as well? So we have the series, I told you about the one, the BMW i3 with the range extending generator. The next one that's coming out is the Dodge Ram Power Wagon with a range extending generator. Yeah, listen, I heard that word, the first word, and I went, yeah, too, okay? It's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're good. Right? Plug-in hybrids are everywhere. Series plug-in hybrids are not everywhere yet. However, series parallel hybrids, yeah, you can get a plug-in CRV, right? You can get a plug-in Mitsubishi Outlander. You can get a plug-in Toyota Prius. You can get a plug-in Toyota RAV4. These are not wildly different than their non-plug-in versions. Instead, they are series parallel. Okay. Neat. Plug-in. Plug-in tells me something about this. Okay. Plug-in tells me right away that it must use an external power source to charge the battery. Right? To get them all the way to 100%, most plug-in hybrids cannot do it on the internal combustion engine. Instead, it needs an outside source to charge. There we go. Use an outside power source to get 100% state of charge. Cool. So, we can answer the next question. How does the high voltage battery charge? Well, how do we charge? Do we charge? This one, these two here, they use the inverter, right? Yes? Okay. So, can we still regenerate with a plug-in hybrid, do regenerative braking? Do I still stop the car with the electric motor? Take a guess. Yeah, you still slow this thing down with the electric motor. So, should I change where regen occurs? Should I take regeneration out of the inverter? You know, the thing with the high voltage circuits and the rectifier bridge? Probably not, so we're still going to do regen. How about recharging the battery a little bit with the internal combustion engine? Can I still do that in a plug-in hybrid? I can actually. So plug-in hybrids, when we discharge them, the state of charge of the lithium battery drops to about 20% and is maintained at that level by the internal combustion engine. So we get, 20 to 50 kilometers of driving on the electric motor alone first thing in the morning, roughly, depending on what you've got. And then once it's down to about 20%, the internal combustion engine fires up and it takes over. It starts to both drive the car or generate electricity in order to drive the electric motor. Right? So, can I still use the generator? Yep. So, ICE generator. I like to slip characters there. Generator, and that is going to contain more or less 20% SOC, state of charge. Okay? And I'm going to display that on my dash. It might be a little bar, it might not be a little bar, whatever it is. It's not going to be very exciting. All right? Hold about 20% state of charge. But if I only get 20 out of here, then I'm going to use an external power source in order to charge that battery all the way up. Wow. Now we're going to have to get inventive. We're going to have to add a part. Okay? What type of power comes out of the wall? AC, right? And batteries are DC. Okay, so that's inconvenient. How many volts are the wall outlets, do you know? Nobody knows? What'd you say? 120? What'd you say? 40. How? They're all 120. Just these little ones here. The ones that you plug your iPhone into, the ones that you plug your computer into, right? all 110 volts AC. If you get the bigger plugs around here, the ones I plug my welder into, or my air conditioner, those are 240. My stove, my dryer, but they're all AC. Can I store AC in a battery? No, definitely not. The next question is, what is a volt? It's pressure. I have 110 pressures in the wall and 400 pressures in the car. If I just connected the two of them, not only would the AC current not be acceptable, which way would the power flow, into or out of the battery? Out of the battery, right? If I got 400 pressures over here and 110 pressures over there, well, high pressure moves to low pressure, so becomes a problem. I need a special device in order to take wall power and turn it into battery power. Should I put that piece on the wall, or should I put that piece in the car? In the car, because all the cars are different, right? Some of them are 900 volts, some of them are only 100 volts, whatever it might be. There's this wide array of voltage. To expect the wall charger can talk to and know everything for a reasonable price. So most of my operations are going to be in what I call an onboard charger. And if I ever ask, where's the onboard charger? Don't tell me it's the front, the back, none of that. It's in the car. Where's the onboard charger? In the car. And of course, it's going to take wall AC and it's going to make battery DC. So it's wall AC to battery DC. Battery. DC. Perfect. Cool, right? We're going to figure out how that works today too, I think. Maybe. Who knows? That's on the thing. So far so good? Who doesn't love a good theory day, eh? 9:02, go for break. Take your 15 minutes. If you need an extra minute to grab a coffee, fine. If you need an extra minute to grab a donut, no, you don't. Thanks, Ann.